This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I am once again live to talk to you guys about the Arabian invasion, I would like to say. Turki Alalshikh, of course, is the man behind the tournament of Terrence Crawford taking on Mr. Israel, okay, Madronov. And of course, we have targeted Jarrell Miller taking on Andy Ruiz, or Andy Ruiz taking on Jarrell Miller. We got Leo Santa Cruz, we have Pitbull Cruz, and we have a lot of people on that card, okay? And I just found out today because when the news broke, it was late last night. Made a video of it, dropped it. It was what it was. It is what it is. However, what I did not know was Turki Alalshikh, His Excellency, is behind this too. You know, and this is in America, okay? So we have everything going on in Saudi Arabia. We have May 18th, we have June 1st. Okay, we also have Wembley, okay, with whoever's going to be there, right? We already pretty much know who that is. We'll talk about that here in a second. Now we have August 3rd as another venue, but in America. Okay, so it's more than just, hey, come on over here to Saudi Arabia. We got a ton of money, and you guys can fight here for all the money that you want. Go ahead, all the money that you want. No, it's a little different than that because people are starting to understand that, hey, how about spreading the love in different locations, geographically speaking? Okay, how about that? And I think that's what Turkey's doing. It's like it doesn't have to be in the Middle East. It could be elsewhere, because I know a lot of people get tired of time zones. Because look at the Devin Haney Ryan Garcia fight. That fight, for my peeps in the UK, shout out to you guys. You know who you are. That was draining. Staying up 3, 4 in the morning for that. So look, a lot of times you wanna at least have a fight convenient in your hometown sometimes. Okay, say for example, if it's in the UK. Okay, well, if I'm watching it early, which I have no problem watching it early. It's just that thing of watching it real late, which is actually early. So late is actually early. Okay. Stuart, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. Everything's good, man. Soul Live in the building. What's up? Green Mount Avenue. Counterpunch to you, brother. Ryan Watterson, is the Crawford fight being held in the States? It's going to be in LA, people. Okay. This fight is going to be in LA. This is an LA venture. This is not Saudi Arabia. This is not the UK. This is LA. Bars. That's exactly what it is. Anthony Schultz. Kurt, God bless, brother. Today's a good day. Hope all is well. Absolutely. All is well, man. I went to that gym, had to work it out. I just started my Shilajit, people. Let me talk to you guys. Let me pause for just a minute. I got to talk to you guys about something that I just tried. This is day 2. Hold on just a second. Okay, now this is Shilajit, okay? Now this, I start taking this. This is the boosted Shilajit, okay? So I started taking the Shilajit today. And I'm going to tell you what happened to me. I took the Shilajit. You take like a little tipful, okay, and you put it in warm water or just room temperature water, and you let it dissolve. It gets a little brown. It tastes like some mud. I ain't gonna lie. It ain't for the taste. So for you guys that like to go hard in the gym, like I like to sometimes, this is for you. Shilajit, okay? It's minerals. I'll cut that shit out. Hold on a second. Okay, so it's good. It has all types of minerals. It has over 1,000 minerals in it, and it will do something to you when it comes to getting your body right. Okay, so this is day 2 for me. But what I did yesterday was I took it, and as before I had anything, because normally I use ashwagandha, zinc, biotin. That's what I take, and of course my kachava. Well, I took this by itself. So I'm like, let me try it by itself. And drinking it, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. People say, oh, it tastes like mud or dirt. Well, it has this kind of tangy taste on the tongue, just a tiny taste on the tongue. However, when I used it, and this was I woke up, this was Monday, so I got up maybe around 7, okay? So I took it around 7 o'clock. No, I took it around 8 a.m., 8 a.m. Central Time. And man, and I tell you, I had that little cupful. I didn't eat anything from 8 to maybe 7, 8. So I fasted for 12 hours and I wasn't hungry. Okay. Now my allergies were bothering me yesterday. So, I kind of felt myself drowsy, but I took it today again, and I took it by itself again. And I went to the gym, and I'm going to tell you, I felt I felt the energy in 2 days. So there's not normal people say they use this within 2 weeks and then they start feeling it. I'm feeling it already. And I think what it is, if you fast and you take it as you fast, it'll hit your bloodstream. It'll go to these places in your body. These minerals will get to where it needs to go faster than would you had a full breakfast or a burrito or eggs or whatever the hell you take. Okay. So no, I wanted to let you guys in on that. This is boosted Shilajit. So I wanted to share that with you for just a second. Um, Shaheed Soley, what's up, mate? Counterpunch to you, Shaheed. John Forte, bars. That sound hit right on time. Absolutely. Adari Pennant, Kurt, you got Andy Ruiz versus Jarrell Miller. Who I got? Oh, man, that's a dangerous fight for both fighters, and I'm going to explain why. King Mike Hall in the building. What's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. Smash that like button. Absolutely. When you come in, wipe your feet or damn near take off your shoes. That's what you're doing when you're coming into Counterpunch Boxing News. Bars. Listen, Andy Ruiz taking on Jarrell Miller. That fight, I want to see that fight more than the Crawford and Israel. Do you know why though? Because Crawford does pretty much the same thing. And he's a beauty to watch. Don't get me wrong. He's slick. He's quick. He's experienced. He has the ring generalship. You know what I mean? He gets aggressive in there. He's mean. You know what I mean? Like Terrence Crawford has every possible thing that you could want. It ain't like, oh, I'm bored. You know what I mean? Like watching an Edislandi Lara fight or a Floyd Money Mayweather fight and watching them just, dismantle people, with a boxing IQ, which is a beautiful thing for me to see. But other people may not like that so much. Okay. Well, Terrence has it all. But I'm saying this. We know Terrence. It's safe to say Terrence is going to wipe this dude another ass unless it's an upset. And that's a whole different issue. But the fight that I want to see is Andy Ruiz versus Jarrell Miller because I've always wanted those guys to fight. I've always wanted to see Jarrell Miller take on Andy Ruiz because, see, Andy Ruiz is the reason why Jarrell Miller didn't get his stuff. Andy Ruiz was Jarrell Miller's replacement to becoming a superstar for 6 months. Yes, I said for 6 months because after that he fell from grace after he lost all the belts back and got that last check. Okay, so Jarrell Miller, I think, is the reason, and Andy Ruiz was the antidote. So, yeah, I would like to see these guys fight. And again, I've heard they've sparred before. I heard that they've had some moments in the boxing circle. And Andy, I think, is quicker, though. Andy's faster. But then again, Andy ain't fought in so long. And that's what's a danger thing for him. See, Jarrell Miller's a fresher fighter because he went damn near 10 rounds with Daniel Dubois. He ran out of gas, but he still went 10 rounds. You know what I mean? So I think it's a good fight. You have one guy 6 foot tall, 6'1", versus Jarrell Miller's a little taller, but they're going to be going head to head, man. You know what I mean? It's going to look like, it's going to look like Thing versus the Hulk. I don't see Ruiz lasting the distance. I don't know. I don't know how in shape Ruiz is. I know he's lost a lot of weight. I know he's attempted to shape his body up. Kurt, Arslan, yeah, what? Okay. Both Miller and Ruiz like to fight in trenches. They're at best slugging it out. Yeah, Kurt, you're wrong. Ruiz needs better opposition than Miller. I mean, if you say so, because what has his opposition been compared to what? Anthony Joshua? Think about the last two people he's fought. He's fought Luis Ortiz, which was way in his 40s, and he fought Chris Arreola, which he was 40 years old at the time. Okay, so again, who are we having to compare him to? Then you got Jarrell Miller. Jarrell Miller's a lot younger. He's done a lot more than a lot of those fighters have. You know what I mean? Chris Arreola, he's had his time in the sun, but he's way past his prime. But he was no, I think what people misconstrued about Jarrell Miller is Jarrell Miller has beat some low level fighters. Okay, cheeseburger versus Snickers, absolutely, you're absolutely right. Chris was still game. Chris was still game because Chris decided to grow up. See, when he was in his 30s and late 20s and he came out the Olympics and when he did that, he was still a slob. He ate like shit, he trained like shit, he lived like shit. I'm just sorry. That's how he was. That's exactly how he was. Okay? That's what he did. Look, Chris Arreola was an out of shape Olympian. Bill Keaveney, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. Miller is as good as an old Ortiz or an old Arreola. I mean, he's as good as that. I agree. So you're saying he's better than that? Okay, well, why would you want to throw him in there with somebody? I mean, here's the thing about Andy. We've seen Andy when he had a year and a half off. Okay, his last fight was December 19th to December 19th, all of 2020, and then we come to May of 21, and he gets dropped by Chris Arreola. Kurt, thoughts on Martin's chances versus Tank? That's going to be a good fight to me. I don't know if Frank can take the punching power. I think he's going to do just as well until he gets caught with something, and then everything else is going to tell. Ruiz versus Effie would be fireworks. I think Effie is not ready for that. Kurt, it's like two male hippopotamus fighting, pretty much. Like a rhino versus a hippo. Miller is not as good as Ortiz. Ortiz's fundamentals are better. Yeah, King Mike Hall, but Ortiz is old. Ortiz got Jarrell Miller at least by 10 years. He's 10 years older than Jarrell Miller. So Ortiz can have all the fundamentals he wants. He can't capitalize on them. You see him try to jog, like dance around like Ali for like 5 seconds. And it's sad to see him do that because he's just trying to turn back the hands of time because he knows mentally he knows how to do certain stuff to these fighters and counter and all the experience, but the experience just don't get you there alone. You have to have the ability. Okay, if that's the case, why do you think older fighters still get their ass whooped by younger fighters? Why do you think Danny Garcia beat Eric Morales twice? Do you know why? Because Eric Morales was no longer able physically to do what he used to do. He would have beat the shit out of Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia wouldn't have had a chance at 140 against Eric Morales if this was the classic primed Eric Morales, but it's not. It was not. Danny Garcia is doing the same thing he did to El Terrible that he's trying to do to Erislandy Lara. Okay, that's why he wants Lara now, because he knows Lara can't dance around and box his face off. He has to stand there and trade because he doesn't have the legs no more. That's what happens to these fighters. Okay, and Ortiz is no exception. Okay, Ortiz, he's still mean. He's still game mentally, but physically, if you get stopped and get dropped by a jab, bro. I don't mean that stuff with Danny Dubois with Usyk. He quit. I'm talking about he got stopped, or I'm sorry, not stopped. He got dropped by a jab. A jab. He got dropped by one. And he just woke up like, oh, what that? You don't have any punch resistance. Ruiz versus Joyce would be good, or winner of loser of Wilder versus Zhang. Big up Kurt. Wagwan. Counterpunch from back with another one. Fury goes down like a sack of spud face. It Usyk too good. Bars. Lion's opinion. Counterpunch to you. Skrilla 50. What it do? Bars. Miller hasn't fought equally competition prior to Triple D. No, he hasn't. I mean, he hasn't fought at all. See, he just broke his spider webs. He just, you know what I mean? He just broke his spider webs. He broke that web. Where do you think Loma goes if he gets the dub against Cambosos next month? He needs to go back to the Ukraine or wherever he lives. See, this is what I'm sick of. Lomachenko is probably one of the best fighters that we had of this generation. He showed us things that have become legend. He's made 4 people quit in a row. He's a 2-time Olympic gold medalist. His fundamentals, his entertainment factor is also good because he also knows not only how to fight, but he also knows how to entertain. He knows how to press the gas. He knows how to do a lot of things in the ring. Saying all that, it's time for him to hang up the gloves. You guys remember, I want to refresh your memory on Lomachenko for a minute. He gets fed to Tank if he beats Kambosos, and that's sad, King. I don't even want to see that fight no more. Because Tank didn't want to see him 5 years ago. Tank didn't want to see him. Floyd didn't want Tank to see him. Floyd even admitted he didn't want Loma because he knew Loma was very dangerous and he knew what the outcome was. Tank Davis, if he would have fought Lomachenko in 2018 or 2019, you know what would have happened? Gervonta Tank Davis would be walking around with one loss, just like Gary Russell Jr. did. See, Tank's fast, he's quick, his reflexes are very advanced. But I don't think he would beat Lomachenko. I just don't think that. I don't think, now he would. Because, I've seen Lomachenko. I remember when Lomachenko fought Kome. And yeah, the footwork was still there. You could tell he knew what he was doing, but you could also tell that his movement, his agility, his mobility, and overall physicality factor was slowered. Okay? That they used to call this man the Matrix. CP to you, Kurt, who you pick as winner of I get Cabello versus Sanchez. I'm biased in that fight, and I'm gonna let you know I'm biased in that fight. But I am going to tell you the truth when I break that fight down. Okay? And I will get back to that. Loma would have boxed circles around Tank Davis in 18. He knew it, and I think they knew it. And here's the thing about Davis. Davis is damn near 30 years old. So you know what that meant. In 2018, that was 6 years ago. So let's look at Tank Davis, right? Tank Davis is he's 29. He'll be 30 this year. So you know what that means? That means Tank, just like Tio, took a chance, took a challenge of fighting Loma. He actually beat Loma when he was 23, when he fought him. Tank is damn near 30 years old. Okay? And he's beat up a lot of younger, not even younger, smaller guys. Cuevas and Santa Cruz, and you know what I mean? And then he went to 140 and didn't like how it felt. Well, how do you know how it feels, Tank? Well, maybe, you felt like those guys felt when they fought you and when they moved up and you lured them into a fight only to knock him senseless because you're so much bigger and he's already a strong ass puncher. So, yeah, I didn't really like any of that. That's just my opinion. Okay. Tank's boxing abilities have always been overshadowed by his KO abilities, but Tank sits Loma down then too. Well, we'll never know. We will never know because the fear factor was in play. They set that in place. They were like, see, that's how Floyd picked his fights when he was money. See, because everything Floyd wanted to do, he made Tank do. See, it's a little deeper with Floyd. Floyd looked at Tank as a puppet on a string, but not only a puppet on a string, he lived vicariously through him as he would have been fighting in that weight class. Because Floyd was there too. Floyd was at 130. And you know what Floyd talked about every time he kicked an ass in 130? He would ask about Barrera. He would ask about Morales. He would ask about Prince Asim Hamed. He would ask about all those guys that were down there making a name for themselves at 122, featherweight 126, and he was up there at 130. And they shut that down. Okay, they shut it down. Why? because they didn't like the idea of Floyd being that big and that talented to fight them all. Now, don't get me wrong. I think Floyd would have whooped them all anyway. You know what I mean? I think he would have beat them all. Oh, and let's not forget Manny Pacquiao was down there too. Okay, so I think that would have happened. But then here's the thing, you know, Tank, he wanted Tank to fight those guys because that's the fights that he would have made if he was Tank. Therefore, Tank's making those fights, or he's making Tank fight those fighters. That's all. That's all that is about Floyd. And it just let you know that Floyd wouldn't have fought anyone that advanced. He wouldn't have done it. You mean horse jockeys, Kurt? That's what Tank has beat up. And an Instagram model in Garcia. T.O. didn't want no rematch with Loma. He knew he got lucky. Well, I'm going to say this. I don't blame T.O. for that. You can't get pissed at a person when you don't implement a rematch clause. Hello. That's on Team Loma. And what I notice about, and this is just my opinion, what I noticed about guys that have won Olympic gold medalists and have exceeded in the amateurs, I see some arrogance with them within they fight. I say, it's just confidence. No, it's arrogance. You know what I mean? That means you disregarded a business decision because you were so arrogant that you could not possibly see Teofimo Lopez at 23 years of age beating you. And that's exactly what happened. So it's like, no, we don't need one. No. Okay, well, now you should have, because he beat you. He beat you on the scorecards. Now you're sitting there like, oh, well, hey, ask Bob. So Bob, can you offer him more money? T.O. wasn't doing that because T.O. wanted to have the same effect that Juan Manuel Marquez had on Manny Pacquiao when he knocked him out December 8th, 2012. Okay, he wanted that same feeling. No, I want to remember this moment because regardless of what anyone says, beating Loma was the creme de la creme. He did it before Devin Haney, and he did a better job than Devin Haney. But don't get it wrong, you just don't beat up Lomachenko. That ain't how it's going to work. Ryan, legit, we can't make him a model because he lost. He was undefeated before then. Okay. Loma beat Haney as well. Well, Loma has nothing to complain about. I mean, yeah, he can complain, but I mean, he has nothing in his career that I think he needs to do. He didn't fight Antonio Salido. Orlando Salido. Orlando Salido, I think, lost. I think he beat Orlando Salido, and he hurt him in the 12th round. He just hung on for dear life to keep from getting caught. But Loma had him. So the way they did Loma was wrong. And I don't know why they did it. I know where they were at. They were somewhere in Texas. You had Lawrence Cole, which I think he's a corrupted, malicious referee. I do think so. I think he's that guy. I think he's that guy you got to watch because he'll be the one to drop a dime on you or something. You know what I mean? That's Lawrence Cole should never he will referee fights. I seen him in Shreveport. I'm like, yeah, there's that cocksucker. If you're putting 2 or more belts on the line, you should be entitled to rematch, but I don't blame Tio. No. I mean, but that's just showing that they figured, oh, we're going to beat this kid from Brooklyn. We're going to beat up this Spanish kid from Brooklyn. We're going to go home. That's what happened. That's what they thought in their mind. So, yeah, it ain't his fault they didn't do it. And then, matter of fact, he felt appalled because they didn't do it. Oh, you guys just thought y'all going to whoop me, huh? Okay, how about I'm not giving you a rematch at all? Tell Bob where he can go. Tell your team where y'all can go because I know where I'm going to go. Ready to get it on, right? If you're putting, okay, let's see. But no, I think all in all, yeah, Tank now. But Loma needs to hang it up, Because then what happens, you don't want Loma to be one of those guys like a Derek Chisora has fought everyone, damn near won, and lost the decision because he's too old, because he's too old, and he's too old at this point to be marketable like he was in the yesteryear, because the yesteryear they know it's over because they've replaced him with somebody else, not as talented, but as far as marquee value and who they want to push, forward for the network or for the promotional company that represents the network of where they're fighting. If you got somebody like that and they're already making millions, okay, well, there's an incentive to make that man or to keep that man on top. The last thing you want to see is a cash cow fall from grace, because whoever he fell from grace from didn't get the money they probably deserved in the first place, because they were getting lowballed. They were getting lowballed because he knew he was the guy that looked over everything, and he knew he was the guy that everybody sought after. So he knew that. T.O. should have rematched Cambosos. Well, I mean, it's the same. Look, it's the same spirit, people. Arrogance. Okay, T.O. thought he won the fight. So he's like, you know what? I'm going to go to 140. Screw the zone. It's their fault anyway. Eddie Hearn, screw you. Okay. And you look at T.O. not wanting a rematch. Well, it was a mandatory, to be fair. But they could have issued a rematch. He just didn't want one. Just like Loma didn't want one from Orlando Salido. Just like Loma didn't want to. He didn't want to set a rematch clause either. Eddie is the best promoter in boxing. I think he's more passionate about it, and probably second from that is Frank Warren, and probably third from that is maybe Bob Arum. Everybody else don't count because PBC can't get you don't know who's training who. Loma probably going to end up fighting Inui for his step up in weight. I wouldn't do it. Loma has enough money. If I was Loma, I would retire. I would retire. I think no hydration clause, mentally ill Garcia and Tank would be very interesting. No, if they have any differences, they should settle it in the ring and get paid for it for our entertainment and enjoyment. I'd put Oscar De La Hoya above PBC as the promoter. I mean, that's a fact. He already is. I agree. Skrilla Eddie is getting things moving. Well, he has some help. He ain't just doing this by himself. He tried. Eddie Hearn tried to bring people over to his platform, to the zone. Sign with Matchroom. You'll be shown on the zone, and the zone will give you an incentive that you never heard of. Some people were smart. Some people were just that naive and that stupid, just outward stupidly loyal thing. He just, because, I mean, look, if you got a guy, right? If you got a guy that is paying for everything, why wouldn't you do the rest of it? But no, PBC. I think Golden Boy is the least. Kurt, do you watch TCL boxing? What's TCL? Tank has become a diva. I mean, he's just taught what he was taught. You can't even really blame Javante for that. Javante, Floyd recruited him. You know, and if it was up to Floyd, Floyd wouldn't even had the Ryan Garcia Devin Haney fight. Don't take that fight right now. Come jog with me. You're good for your cardio. I do 4 of these a mile every day. Um, don't go for it. Don't take the Devin Haney fight. Don't take the Devin Haney fight. You heard of the new heavyweight boxer from upstate New York, Peta Minga Ita? No, I never heard of him. Can't say that I have. Nope. Frank has had more comebacks than Frank Sinatra. Frank's been around a long time. Frank got shot. Frank got beat up by Mike Tyson. Frank's been around, man. Oh, Team Comeback League Boxer. No, never heard of it. Kurt, what I meant to ask you was, how do you feel about the hydrated Garcia we just saw would go versus Tank? Same result? Yeah. I mean, why wouldn't it be the same result? I hear that. I'm hearing that. And let me set the record straight, okay? First of all, let's say this. Ryan has not learned anything. Did Ryan show you anything new? The only thing he showed you that he was bigger. The only thing he showed you that he shouldn't even be fighting at 140 at all. He's just too big for it. He's too young, or he's that much or that less of a disciplined guy to make the weight. But if he says, "Oh man, well I just can't do it," okay, fine. Go take your ass to 147 then. But I didn't see him do anything different with Devin. It wasn't really front. It wasn't Ryan. It was Devin. It was what Devin made him or allowed him to do. Nobody told Devin Haney to throw a jab like this to get countered right here. That's what happened in the very first round. And he landed the jab. Bop, boop. Yes. Tank still cooks Ryan in any condition. Tank is better. Well, I mean, here's the thing. It ain't about him being chinny. It's about him not being able to take body punches. So you can say what you want to say about Keith One-Time Thurman. We all know Keith One-Time Thurman can't take body punches. We all know that. But one thing about Keith's gonna get hit, but he ain't gonna drop down like no bitch. Because the last thing you want to do when you get hit to the liver like that is to stop in your tracks, because you're just enduring the pain at the expense of wasting time and getting a point deducted because it dropped you, because that punch hit you so hard you decided to fall down. It ain't the fact that you couldn't. You know what I mean? He just didn't want to based on how he felt. That's why when you guys talk to me about, oh man, we went for the hydration clause, that dude was still fast. He still fought the same way. He still fought in sporadic, frantic-like combinations when he was in doubt. That's what he did. He threw punches, that's what he did. Now, when he aimed with the left hook, he's been doing that shit for the last 6-7 fights. Longer than that. So Ryan has been doing that same thing. Yeah, he has that counter down. You jab him on a counter or you walk into a counter left hook. Either way, he's perfected that. Just like Deontay Wilder. He's perfected the right? Or so we thought. But if he isn't the same, that's how he used to be at least. And Ryan Garcia is no exception. This man got hit in he didn't even get hit in the liver. He got hit in the gallbladder. Show you about anatomy, places you don't want to get hit, okay? You don't want to get hit here. This is your gallbladder. Now, this is your liver that goes all the way down here. Okay, then your intestines, Jesus. Your kidney, then your kidney. Okay, so you don't want to get hit here. A lot of people, when they go to that body, that's where they hit. Like Lomachenko was southpaw, and he hit Leonidas. He got up, and he hit Leonidas right there. Boom! He caught him right there. It stopped him in his tracks. That's what I'm talking about, okay? That is not going to stop. I don't care how big Ryan Garcia gets. Garcia had nothing to do with protecting his organs. He was that drained. He had nothing to protect his organs. Well, I mean, here's the thing. Was it a bitch move by Tank Davis? Yes. But was it a dumber bitch move to agree to it? Yes. You don't agree to fights like that. And see, if you need that type of that A side needed this type of concession to win. No. But I still think Tank beats Ryan because he's shorter, he's quick, or just as quick with his reflexes, not hand speed, but reflexes. See, Manny Pacquiao could throw faster combinations than Floyd, but Floyd wasn't that kind of fighter. Floyd just had faster reflexes, and he equated that also with time. Timing is important. That's why I know guys like Ryan fighting guys like Terrence Crawford, he's finished. Why? Because Terrence been in there with quick, fast guys before. He's been in there with Amir Khan. Amir Khan's very fast. Don't want to get hit in that solo plex. No, you don't. That'll take all your wind out. Boom! Yeah, it's a bad feeling, man. When you get hit in your stomach, oh God, in the middle. Yeah, it wasn't a big move. It's to keep it fair. Remember, Tank couldn't rehydrate there. Let's not naked excuses. No, I'm not giving anything to Ryan. Ryan beat Devin Haney because Devin Haney has really nothing to actually combat him with. And he was trying. He was trying to throw those left hooks. He landed one in the second round, but no, no. I can't wait for the Andy Ruiz versus Jarrell Miller press conference. Me neither. I'm looking forward to that. I got to find out where it's going to be so I can record it and notify myself when it comes on. No excuses. But Tank clearly lacks confidence in his ability. Well, I think that confidence, lack of confidence there was, is the whole idea. I think that all came from Floyd. Floyd taught him that. I hope they finally release the AJ versus Miller face-off. They won't, but they have it, and they admitted they had it. Sky Sports has it. And they both did. And this is what I heard what happened. Anthony Joshua and Jarrell Miller. Jarrell Miller busted freestyle. Anthony Joshua countered with another freestyle. Jarrell Miller got better. Anthony Joshua slipped up on his words and messed up his freestyle. That's what I heard. So it is what it is, man. But no, I look forward to this card. Jarrell Miller versus Andy Ruiz. Okay. Terrence Crawford, of course, is going to be fighting my man. Definitely that he ain't fought in a while. So that's a good thing. It's a very good thing. Devin should have been defensive and stayed out of the jab. Kurt, what about Devin Haney's footwork? It's okay. It's okay. Kurt, do you think Wilder can stand up to Zhang's shots? Can't remember the last Wilder opponent with a pop like Zhang. I don't know, man. We'll see when he gets in there. That's all I can tell you. Well, because, like, look. Floyd knows what's best because Floyd has been in where Tank Davis is at now. Any updates on Mahmoud Char? I haven't heard from him. He's probably walking his lion or tigers or something. Zhang retiring Wilder. Zhang hits hard ASF. Miller is better. Oh, okay, deleted that one. All right, people are complaining about Ryan's weight, but didn't complain about Devin Haney Haney came in. Well, you know, a lot of people follow the illegitimate child of Oscar De La Hoya. If Ryan was drained, then so was Tank excuses. It depends on what energy you want to put into that stuff. Miller is a better boxer, rapper, and Miller is a better rapper and rober than a boxer. I guess he meant to say robber. When Zhang dropped Parker, it's like he didn't even try. If he was younger, he would be crazy. That fight's supposed to have been over, man. That fight's supposed to have been over, but it wasn't. But if that fight would have been over like that, we would have had this fight we had against Parker. But nonetheless, I was just reaching out to you guys, let you know about Turki Alalshikh arriving the British docks with his invitations and his demands and a whole lot of money. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about this six on Jarrell Miller, Andy Ruiz, Israel Madrimov, Terrence Crawford, Leo Santa Cruz, Pitbull Cruz, and many, many others. I thank you guys for coming on this live stream. And I want all of you, every last one of you, to hit the like button, get home safe, God bless, and all of you been counterpunched. Peace.